Hola, bienvenido al canal Mundo Tecnológico. China's transportation network is very developed, and their high-speed rail links many cities together. In addition to high-speed rail, China has also built subways in many cities, which not only improve the urban economy, but also accelerate the process of urbanization. Now, China has built infrastructure overseas, and it has been welcomed by many countries. Vietnam once rejected Japan and asked China to build a $800 million subway for it. When the project was completed, the local Vietnamese were very grateful to China. So what exactly happened? Thank you for watching the video. If you want to know about the shocking projects in the world, as well as some important events in China, please click to subscribe. I believe my video will not let you down. With the development of economy, the local population of Vietnam is increasing. By 2020, its total population has exceeded 97 million. According to the current development trend, in the next 3 to 5 years, its population will likely reach hundreds of millions. The continuous increase in population will lead to traffic congestion to a certain extent. Although Vietnam's economy has performed well in recent years, people's wages are generally not high and they cannot afford a car. However, although Vietnam does not have many cars, it is a big country of motorcycles. It is understood that the number of motorcycles in Vietnam has exceeded 45 million, and the number will increase by about 3 million every year. If you don't count the elderly and children, it is equivalent to one person and one motorcycle. In addition, the only public transportation in Vietnam was buses, so many people would choose to ride motorcycles, which led to very poor air quality in Vietnam. In order to solve environmental problems and shorten the transit time of the people, the Vietnamese government decided to build the first subway line in the country. According to Vietnam's plan, this subway is a light rail line, the full name of which is Hanoi Light Rail Jilin to Ha Dong Line, which is the first light rail line in Hanoi, Vietnam. The line connects the 3 districts of Dong Duo, Chinh Chun, and Ha Dong in the capital Hanoi, with a total length of 13.5 kilometers. But building subways is not Vietnam's strength, so the Vietnamese government has launched light rail tenders. The bidders include South Korea, Japan, and other light rail construction powerhouses, and everyone believes that Japan will definitely win the bid. Because Japan's light rail technology is very mature, it is one of the first countries in the world to open light rail. Many Japanese experts also said that the Vietnam light rail project will definitely be won by them. However, in the end, Vietnam handed over this project to China, which is very surprising. So, why did Vietnam choose China instead of Japan? As we all know, China has introduced a lot of Japanese rail transit construction technology in the early days. However, it is precisely for this reason that China has a better understanding of Japanese technology, and has absorbed and integrated many advantages and disadvantages from it. Since then, with 20 years of unremitting efforts, Chinese technicians have finally innovated a new system, which is the Chinese standard system. Therefore, in the construction of the Vietnam subway, China pays great attention to the standards of the project. The first is the bridge standard. During the construction of light rail, a large number of bridge technologies will be used, and each technical node must be perfect without the slightest error. Hanoi, Vietnam is mountainous and humid, and it often rains heavily every summer. Therefore, the waterproofing of bridges cannot be ignored. In order to solve these problems, the Chinese construction team specially sent many bridge experts to Hanoi to conduct surveys. After their research and experimentation, they finally decided to adopt 2 innovative design structures of 3-story single-column elevated structure and long cantilever longspan structure, and the concrete standards for the bridge piers all adopted international standards that exceeded the specifications. The second is the material standard. As an important means of transportation for people's daily travel, the light rail runs almost continuously every day. Therefore, the material requirements for the construction of light rail are extremely high. Among them, steel is the most important. Light rail steel must meet the characteristics of high efficiency and low power consumption, and at the same time, it must be combined with the climate and environmental conditions of Vietnam. However, these issues are trivial matters for China. The technology of manufacturing steel in China has already reached the advanced level in the world. The various light rails, subways, and high-speed rails they produce have long been exported to the world. Today, even some subway trains in the United States are made in China. Therefore, China is very clear about which standard to use for light rail materials in Hanoi, Vietnam. Finally, there is the communication power standard. After the construction of the light rail train is completed, if it wants to achieve punctual and safe operation, it needs the support of strong communication technology and power system. Today, China's communication technology has long been ahead of Japan and South Korea. China's high-speed rail network is the most complex railway system in the world, with a total length of more than 40,000 kilometers. During the operation, there is almost no delay, and the occurrence rate of safety accidents is extremely low. In terms of urban rail transit, the total operating mileage of first-tier cities such as Beijing and Shanghai exceeds 500 kilometers, and the daily passenger flow reaches millions of people. Therefore, in the design of the construction of the light rail in Hanoi, Vietnam, China only needs to design according to the domestic communication and power system standards. In the construction of Vietnam's light rail, China's construction standards have far exceeded Japanese standards, and at the same time, there are huge advantages in terms of cost. Because China has achieved a localization rate of more than 90% from technology to materials, which is something that Japanese companies cannot do. This is also an important reason why the Vietnamese government signed a cooperation agreement with China. In addition to technical advantages, there is another important reason that the Vietnamese government attaches great importance to. Vietnam is a very important neighbor of China and one of China's most potential neighbors. Only by insisting on friendly cooperation between the two countries for a long time can we achieve mutual benefit and win-win results. Now, China is stepping up its One Belt, One Road strategy, which will effectively drive the economic development of Southeast Asian countries. Vietnam is at a critical moment of economic development if it can quickly join the Belt and Road. Not only can access to the most advanced technology, but also rapid economic development. This is a win-win solution, and Vietnam will not miss it. It is necessary to mention that this light rail was constructed with loans provided by China, and China is also responsible for the whole process. Even people from European and American countries lamented the advanced technology of China after taking the subway. Not only that, it also shortens the travel time of the Vietnamese public, and the one-way round-trip time for people in Hanoi and Ha Dong is less than 25 minutes. Many local office workers also said that with the light rail, the commute time can be shortened by about 30 minutes. People in Vietnam are very grateful to China, because Chinese technology has brought convenience to their travel. This light rail is of great significance for improving Vietnam's economic level, promoting social prosperity and increasing employment. In the future, this track will bring invaluable benefits to the development of Vietnam's capital and surrounding cities. At the same time, for China, the success of the railway is another sign of China's infrastructure going to the world. It plays an important role in improving the status of China's infrastructure in the world and building a Chinese brand. Moreover, it will also help strengthen bilateral cooperation and promote economic and trade exchanges between China and Vietnam, which is beneficial to both sides. Since the 20th century, China has begun to undertake many overseas infrastructure projects, which has completely established the reputation of the infrastructure maniac. Today, Chinese standards have already become world standards, and light rail, subway, and high-speed rail have spread all over the world. Whether it is the developed United States or backward Africa, Chinese infrastructure technology can be seen everywhere. In the future, China's infrastructure technology will continue to shine. Gracias por tomarse el tiempo de ver nuestro video. Nos encantaría que te suscribieras a nuestro canal y nos dirás un pulgar arriba. Hasta luego.